iPhone SE, second generation, features. At first, Apple made customers believe that SE meant small, by releasing the first model to return to the small size class. After the second generation model was released in 2020, Apple showed that it meant budget. The device takes on the older design of previous models with specs similar to 2019 flagships. Design. There is nothing remarkable about the budget iPhone design, but for a good reason. It is built to look like the iPhone 8, which was similar to the iPhone 6. Users who do not want Face ID now have a modern option without much compromise. By keeping the aluminum frame with glass front and back panels, Touch ID, and camera system, Apple was able to keep the price low. One of Apple's strengths is its supply chain, which drives component prices down the longer a form factor is produced. This device line could be the last with the classic iPhone design paradigm. Apple's website lists that only cases made for the iPhone SE are compatible, but iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 cases will fit fine. The only awkward fit would be cases with a cutout for the Apple logo, as the company moved its branding icon farther down the back of the iPhone SE. The phone ships in 3 colors: white, black, and red. Regardless of what you choose, you will have a black glass faceplate. In the iPhone 6 through iPhone 8, the white, gold, and rose gold variants had a white faceplate. Apple's shift to all black fronts regardless of back color is likely for simplicity and a design choice started by Face ID-equipped devices. When shooting in portrait mode, a new depth control feature allows users to adjust the bokeh effect as well as increasing or decreasing the background blur of an image. This is made possible because portrait images are created with some digital trickery, mimicking the capabilities of a high-end camera lens through software. In practice, this new feature works quite well, adding a new layer of granular control that photographers will appreciate. The portrait system is still imperfect. What it chooses to focus on in the foreground can be hit or miss, but shows signs of improvement from the iPhone X, and generally provides excellent results. Video recordings are also enhanced by new stereo capabilities. Our tests found that audio was noticeably improved when recording video, though the video itself appeared mostly the same, and still excellent. In fact, sometimes we find ourselves deferring to recording video and using the image capture tool in Apple's camera app to get the best results, a testament to how well the 4K video footage looks when captured at 60 frames per second. Finally, around front, the true depth camera is mostly the same, though Apple says it has made some software tweaks to improve the Face ID login functionality. In daily use, we felt no discernible difference in Face ID performance in migrating from the iPhone X. It should also be noted that iPhone X users gained some Face ID improvements through the iOS 12 update. After using Face ID for the last 10+ months, we continue to think it's a rock-solid replacement for Touch ID. The iPhone XS camera is an impressive achievement, capturing stunning photos with minimal effort. It is the main and most notable upgrade when compared to last year's iPhone X if you shoot a lot of low-light photos and have found that the iPhone X wasn't quite up to snuff. The iPhone XS will be a welcome improvement for you. A12 Bionic processor. Apple continues to perform laps around the competition with its custom silicon, with this year's A12 Bionic chip boasting a next-generation neural engine with 8 cores within the iPhone XS, up from just 2 cores in the A11 chip in last year's iPhone X. In terms of raw performance, the A12 Bionic posted a single-core score of 4,817 in Geekbench, and the multi-core score reached 10,716. The 7nm chip's GPU also posted a metal score of 21,907. In comparison, benchmarks from last year's A11 Bionic in the iPhone X showed a single-core score of 4,274, a multi-core score of 10,438, and a metal score of 15,540. The significant bump in metal score is particularly noteworthy as Apple is now building its own custom GPUs as part of its A-series processors. The company is once again flexing its chip-making muscles with tremendous year-over-year increases in performance, leaving the rest of the industry in the dust. In terms of actual daily use, iPhone X users won't notice much of a difference. Apps launch slightly faster, but not in a meaningful way. But again, and this is a common theme here, if you're coming from an iPhone 7 or earlier, the iPhone XS will be a major leap forward. Where the power of the A12 is really, truly felt, oddly enough, and this is another common theme for the iPhone XS, is the camera. The iPhone XS, when compared to the iPhone X, is all about the camera. All of the praise we have for the improvements in camera can be partially credited to the A12 Bionic chip, helping to enable features like portrait depth control, smart HDR, and reduced shutter lag. Sure, the A12 Bionic helps in other ways, including noticeable improvements in augmented reality apps. But aside from relying on iOS 12's Measure app a handful of times, we find ARKit apps are mostly an impressive tech demo laying the groundwork for a presumed Apple AR headset somewhere down the road. For now, Apple is leveraging the power of its chip-making prowess to push mobile photography forward, and that's where the A12 Bionic and iPhone XS shine. Display, Face ID and general usability of the edge-to-edge design. The iPhone XS display is, to our eyes, unchanged from the iPhone X screen. If you're coming from a different Apple handset and are curious about the screen, it's gorgeous. If you're coming from a home button-based iPhone and are concerned about Face ID and the swipe gesture to unlock the handset or return to the home screen, fret not. Swiping to return home and a long swipe for multitasking are intuitive and will make you quickly forget you ever used a home button. In fact, try going back to your old phone after a few days of use and you'll find yourself instinctively swiping to no avail.